made in the USA. And this, let's get this out there for COPPA. 18 years and older, as these kits are for 18 years and older. These are not toys, these are adult model kits. I just had to, that's my COPPA video for you.
Luka's Kits, it's Luka's Kits, it's Luka's Kits, it's Luka's Kits.
Well, hello my fellow car modelers, welcome to another episode of Luka's Kits. And we're doing another comparison here of an old kit against the new reissue of it. But this one is really interesting. What really caught my attention about this is, even though this is a reissue of a model from an old venerable model company that originally put these kits out, and I've already done episodes of Luka's Kits on these kits, and everyone's quite aware of how much I am very passionate and in love with these old race car models. What we're going to be looking at today is something we've already looked at in Luka's Kits, but a different version. Is we are going to be looking at the old Monogram Buick Regal Grand National stock car, and we are going to look at the new version from SalvinosJR Models, new updated re-release of this, what I just think is a fantastic kit. And we're going to compare the original to what we're getting today. And again, why I'm really excited about this and wanting to do a video and show you guys these is I really took advantage of the fact that I've been in the hobby for so long, and I've been building these stock car kits for so long, and such a fan. I bought them up back when, you know, they were easily to obtain. And I had a ton of them, and I just knew so many guys that had a ton of them, and I thought, you know, everybody has these, and you know, you could pick them up really cheap for quite a while. They really weren't pulling in a lot of money. For one time, they were really expensive when they stopped making them. And then every once in a while, Revell, when they took over Monogram, they would re-pop out the old kits in different forms and all that stuff. And I just have a ton of them, so I didn't really need this kit, but I wanted to take a look at it and see what they've done to bring this kit back. I didn't really fully understood that there's so many builders that are really new into the hobby that love the old stuff, and they're older guys that remember these cars running. They want to build models of these cars, and these aren't so available anymore like they were. And I just really didn't notice that until I started reading on Facebook groups and things about, oh, I wish Monogram, I wish Revell would reissue those great kits. I never got any. They're hard to find now at swap meets. You don't see a lot of swap meets. And then they go for a lot of money on eBay and stuff. And I was like, well, wow, you know, it's really cool that this company, when Revell was bought by a company in Europe, and they were starting back up as Revell, and they felt they weren't going to get into this market, and well, SalvinosJR Models, they picked it up. They made a deal with them. I am personally grateful, because I know that I know they got some great stuff ahead that are even going to make these kits even to where a guy who's got a ton of these wants to buy even more of them. You can see my excitement. I just think this is just a really great thing for our hobby. What makes me so happy about this is that this is just going to lead into some really great things for us NASCAR building fans. It's great to see, you know, a little startup company here in America, and as you can see, we'll be going over here, you see that made in the USA, and the old kit was made in the USA back then. It's just neat to see something like this happening in our hobby, to see the little guy pick up the torch and go on. I have to support this. So we're going to take a look at both these kits, and what I got here, which is really neat, is I have, it's unwrapped, but this is an untouched 82 vintage. I believe this kit, this actual kit, was put on the shelves in 1982. It's the first editions of them. It's a little beat up, and you can see that it's unwrapped, but inside there is a still sealed kit, and I'm going to pop it open. I'm going to take this, what would that be? That would be, you know, 30 8-year, I don't know, what would that be, 1982? You know, I'm sorry I'm doing math here on the fly, and I'm not too good at it, but let's see, let's say 36 years, I think, 37 years ago, this thing hit the shelves. I just bought this over at Andy's today, fresh, in the box, sealed up. We're going to pop this open. We're going to take a look at that. I'm going to break that open too. And we're just going to, you know, really get into this. This is going to be neat. So we're going to start out, before we check out the new one, which just real quick, neat box art. And they did a car that Revell Monogram never did. So that's kind of cool. We're going to kind of be rehashing something old because one of my early Luka kits was basically taking a look at this kit. But this is more so we can do the comparison. So let's open it up. All right, we're going to go ahead and set that here. We've seen these instructions before. Excellent instructions for an excellent kit. And we're looking at the Bobby Allison Miller car. The decal sheet, still in pretty good condition. Nice decal sheet. I've used this decal sheet before. I probably will use it again. And one day we're going to do a video on how to take old decal sheets and the prep to do to be able to use them. Maybe we'll do it with this one. So here we go. Look at this. Still sealed up. I'm going to put that right there. We're going to take this. These were kind of preventively, a piece fell off the chrome tree. I guess that's the front bumper and the oil cooler, but the glass right there, we'll take a closer look at that. But someone at one time, whoever had this kit before me, because I recently acquired it, went ahead, preventative measures, put these pieces into a Ziploc. Didn't come from the factory like that. Here are the tires, and we have all the tires, and these are the original tires, which is going to be something interesting to compare, because from my understanding is the glass and the tire molds did not come with the molds when Salvinos JR got hold of them, so they had to create their own. So we will compare them. But these are the old Goodyear, and they were pretty good representations of the stock car tires of the times. And here we go with the chrome tree. You can see this was originally red plastic for this tree, and there are some spots where you can see the red kind of showing. I don't know if the video picks it up, but you can see the red's kind of showing where the chrome was kind of thin. And I remember seeing that a lot back in the early 80s of models from Monogram. They sometimes did not get, you can really see it from this angle, they did not get the chrome on real well or very thin. Here's something cool. Oh, look at that. Free Monogram racing kit with 3 proofs of purchase. I wonder if they'll still honor this. Look at, oh, this is neat. I always love finding this stuff that never got, you know, tossed out or something. These were the kits that were hot in 1984. And I have them all, and we've showed a few of them on Luka's kits. We've never done the Thunderbirds. I don't believe so. You know, one day we'll take a look at the Thunderbirds. We've looked at this Miller car before, and there's the counterpart to that Miller car, which was the Ford Motorsports Mustang. Same kit, just different decals. But that's kind of neat. Neat little thing. And that's it. And there's the box with nothing in it. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for this? So it's 1984. This kit was probably produced, yeah, in 84. Still in the bag. Has not been opened yet. You guys are going to watch me in 2019 open this kit that's been sealed since it was at the factory in 1984. Ready? Are we ready? Let's take a cut here. You can't turn back. Once this happens, it's over. It is unsealed. Thank you. Are you proud of me? See that? I'm not scared to open up an old vintage kit. Wow, look at that. Out in the open. After almost 40 years, 38 years, 37 years. How cool is that? Beautiful kit. Wow, this is in great shape. Being sealed up for so long. I love this body style. Some of my favorite stock cars. The Buick was so cool. And we taken a look. And now there's something that is very interesting on these early editions that changed later on when they started putting different bodies on, that I'm going to point out from the later issues of this same kit, but when they would have the more rounder bodies, you know you got an old one when these are very squared off at the trunk. This was in the GM cars, the Buicks, and then they later on they came out with the Monte Carlos. But when you have a really old kit, the original versions, they're very pointy and squared. It's really not a big deal. It doesn't affect the final build of the car, but that's just something to look for when you're checking in a kit and you think it might be in an old box and you're looking through, it might be one of the reissued ones that came out in the 90s. But by the late 80s and in the 90s, these corners were rounded off. You got a little bit of a broken piece, and this was very common whenever I would open one of these kits. This, because there's like tabs here, or holes to fit the tabs in, and it was really thin right there, and this piece would always break. It's easy to fix. That's busted, but you know, again, 30, 35, 36, 37-year-old kit that's been sealed all this time. It's really, really nice shape. So I'm going to set all this for right now all into its box. I got a little off screen over here. I'm going to just put these off to the side, and let's bring in the brand new kit from SalvinosJR Models. I'm pretty excited about this. This is a big kit opening day today, isn't it? It's like Christmas just before Christmas. So let's just take a look at the box art. They did a really great job. Another bringing back a Bobby Ellison kit, but this was Bobby Ellison's car that he ran before the Miller Buick. It was the same team, Dygaard Racing, so it's pretty much going to be the same car, just from a season or two before. I'm glad that these are being reproduced, and it is well worth it. And from what they have told me there at SalvinosJR, they have got some plans that I am super excited about that they're going to do with these kits now that they have these. And I think we're going to be getting some bodies and kits of cars that weren't produced but were still racing back in the 80s. There were so many cars that Monogram didn't do that I think SalvinosJR are going to pick up the torch and complete the collection for us. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. It's a nice packaging. This is just fantastic. So let's go ahead and slice into it. Get started and get this thing opened. Are we ready for this? The unleashing. Alrighty. All right, let's take a look. Let's pop this open. Let's go. Whew, tight box. Bing. Wow. Yep. Neato. There's the tires. Again, these are newly produced tires. These aren't the old ones, as they had to come up with their own tires. They did not receive the molds tooling for the tires that were originally in there. And here is the glass. It looks very much like the glass that came with the kits originally, but again, they had to retool their own glass. And look, they've added the side opera windows, which is a good, that's cool that they did that, because I've always, every once in a while, thought I would like to put those in. NASCAR rules, they didn't have to have them back in 1982, but there were some teams that did like to put them in for aerodynamic reasons. That's nice to have that. I think that was a really cool little added extra that you never got in the Monogram kits. So thanks guys over there at Salvinos. This body looks fantastic. A little bit better quality plastic. I like the plastic so much better. The thing is this plastic, I always talk about the old Monogram plastic. is really hard and brittle and could break. You didn't want to stretch it out too much. This is great having these. Heck, I might want a bunch of these, even though I have a ton of the old Buicks, just because it's a little bit more of a flexible plastic, a little more bit of moving around you can do. But wow, yeah, that looks great. Chrome tree. Now they went ahead and packaged it. That's nice. It has its own package. I like that, how it's not all sealed up. It just unfold it and there you go. Not too shabby. Nice chrome. They didn't do any flat clear coating on it, so it's a very bright chrome. You know, you flat it yourself if you want to do that, or if you want to go for the bright chrome, if it's something that you enjoy, you got that option. Me, I like to dull it down a bit, but I will say right now that it's got good coverage where that old kit did not have good coverage. I don't even know what color this tree is. More than likely it's white. I want to take a look at the new instructions and decals. Let's see what they did for this. This will be interesting. Nice instruction book, but let's take a look at the decals. I was expecting this. This right here is why you get what you pay for from Power Slides. If any of you have not used Power Slide decals before, you're in for a treat. I have got tons of them. I've used them. They've been selling a lot of other NASCAR decal sets that were never available. They've always done really, really high quality product. And you're talking, I don't know, what do decals go for? 14, 15 bucks? There you go. You got yourself a good, really good quality decal sheet. A lot better than what we were always accustomed as kit decals. Cool booklet. And that right up the front, they have a little explanation, decal placement there in the front. But let's get this. It's totally new artwork. That's pretty cool. You know what? No, it looks like, let's do a little comparison. The instructions are really high quality print. It's on nice gloss paper where we had this newspaper in the old days, but let's see. They pretty much, looks like they took the old artwork, do a little comparison there. They took the old artwork and just repurposed it onto nicer, higher quality paper. Yeah. Very easy to follow, very easy to read. This is one company that's very accessible. They give you all your information. You have any questions about your kit or whatever, you will get a response from them. They are super people, and they are really curious on hearing what people think, and they want to keep on putting out good product for you guys. So they want to hear everything you have to say. Everything's pretty much exactly the same as the old kit, as I expected. And look, hey, not broken like in the old one. I like the quality of their plastic. I like that it's a little more flexible. It's not so, it's just a little more forgiving. You know how many times I break this off when I'm building one of the old Monogram ones? Here's what I was talking about, that we'll do this little comparison. And this was done by Revell back in the late 80s when they came out with like the Quaker State Buick and the Valvoline Pontiac, and this was like 88 when the cars were downsized and more rounded. So they had to get rid of that sharp edge because the cars were much more rounded. When they did that, they just left it alone whenever they started to reproduce the earlier cars that were more square. So what you end up getting is old version, new version. And we're going to take a look at the glass. We're going to do a comparison because, again, they had to remaster the glass. So this is not original. They had to wing-ding it. There it is. Got the original glass here. One thing I always thought, man, the glasses were very thin, which was good and bad in a lot of ways. And this old glass has got a little bit of a stain here, but this is the original. It's very thin and very easy to break. I cracked so many of these, but what was great about it being thin is it didn't distort looking through there, and you could really see the interiors real well. That's, again, old. And let's see what they did. Yep, that's nice and thin. Wow, I like it. Good curvature to that. It's, I can tell they're totally different. but quality looks pretty much the same. You can see through them pretty clear. It's very clear. That's good. Not doesn't, because the interior sometimes, you know, you paint them a bright color and you got detail in there and you want to see through the windshield in the back and all that, and you don't want it to distort. Like some model kit glass is really thick and it tends to distort, and this doesn't. That's good. Go ahead and cut open the new kit tires, and it is there is no raised letters, which that's a plus. A lot of people feel. I'm one way or the other. I kind of like to use either decals or stencils, and so this is a big plus, not having to deal with what the old kits had were these raised letters, which I've painted them too by hand, and it made it easy in that regard. But really, to get a nice look, you needed to sand them off and put decals, which it was not on the back. You could just flip them around, but it's just nice to not even have to deal with that. It seems like this is a little bit of a softer rubber, easy to prep and sand. They've got a good shape to them, and they appear to be slightly wider and slightly taller. I'm going to take this wheel I got sitting over here that's a NASCAR wheel from one of the Ford kits, and let's just see what it looks like inside the new tire, because that really will tell you how a tire is going to look. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I like the new tires. Again, they're a little bit bigger, just a smidge bigger and a smidge wider, and I just think that they are going to give a really good look. It really fills the wheel well up. I always kind of felt that the old tires, although I love the shape and they did a really nice job on them, but sometimes they seem to be a little bit too small. But yeah, I mean, that looks good too. So that is a cool plus right there. Got some nice tires, a little bit wider. You don't have the raised letters. You get some decals on there that I believe there are on the decal sheet. Let's see. Yep, there's Goodyear. All in all, holy cow. There we go, the two bodies. They look fantastic. This one's all old, hard, rigid. This one's nice and pliable. I like that. That's really great for you guys who weren't into the hobby and buying back in the 80s. You might have been not even born yet, or you weren't doing models back then. You were too busy in high school, your early 20s, having a good time as a young person. A lot of you guys who got into this hobby a little later and weren't fortunate enough to have these great kits at your disposal, and you've been wanting to build a Bobby Allison Miller Buick, there's decals available, or a Darrell Waltrip Mountain Dew Buick. There were a slew of these Buicks running in NASCAR in those days, and you wanted to build one of these because this is just a beautiful, beautiful car on the track. Now you can. You got to check these guys out. They're on Facebook, SalvinosJR Models. They do some of their completely owned kits also, if you're not aware of them, that are old 70s Monte Carlos and the 77 Oldsmobile, but it ran in like the 78 and 79 season. That's a fantastic kit. I'm just really happy to see, you know, a made in the USA little startup company. You know, let's support them, guys. It benefits us. It gives us more subjects to build on, and I'm looking forward to the future on that. So thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you in another video of whatever I make next. All right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.